Please join the channel here over at Subscribestar, now over at Odyssey. Remind me to say that C.S. Lewis quote about sincerely held tyrannies at the end. These people are effing insufferable. So woke female college chicks pushing censorship. These are the useful idiots of the masters from JDA's website, Fandom Pulse, where they've got a blacklist for problematic wrong thinkers. Yikes, my guy. So woke feminist Karens, essentially, running digital lynch mobs for problematic stories. It's weird to see the lack of self-awareness for these left-wing idiots. To see that censorship is coming from the new woke Karen college girl crowd, these sincere, useful idiots that Orwell talked about, I guess C.S. Lewis talked about. So this 25-year-old first world girl is telling the other useful idiots what books are problematic, and if they're good girls, then they won't support these authors with their dangerous ideas. What bleeding pussy timeline are we in, where college kids are pushing for censorship? When did kids get this soft? To the idiot girl who writes these articles, a few years from now, you're going to look back and absolutely cringe when you think how stupid you were to promote censorship, because someday the censors are going to come for you. Because what is safe and accepted good think now, I can promise you in a few years is not going to be. And the thing is, the stuff that if they could write something perfectly politically correct, it's like it would be nothing more than propaganda, which nobody would want to read. Even the left wing doesn't support left wing propaganda because it's boring to them, just like it's boring to anyone. So the world needs a modern Guns N' Roses now more than ever. And the problem is like if something like that were to occur, it's like they'd never get the infrastructure to get a band off the ground because these censorious Karen digital lynch mob gangs would just shut down the live bars where people bands start to play. They wouldn't. It's like Owen Benjamin, a stand-up comic. Whenever he can only go to a certain amount of clubs because these idiots try to cancel him. Because I think decades ago he said, "Oh yeah, or a decade ago, maybe you shouldn't sterilize children," and his left-wing agent said, "You have to drop that, or otherwise you're out of Hollywood." And he goes, "I guess I'm out of Hollywood there." So the lay of the land with these women is they read books and then they take careful notes of anything that they can virtue signal over, and then they take these notes to social media where they have their second parasocial life based on the serotonin and dopamine from, yikes my guy, calling out like problematic or like whatever authors. That's it. They don't create. But this is their life, to try to convince other pussy soy boys and cat ladies that some writer just living their best life in their lane, flourishing, moisturized, must be canceled. These dumb cunts are insufferable, and obviously they have the free speech to be stupid bleeding twats all they want, but it is our duty to crap all over them, to change the narrative, to make them the new digital Karens who are pushing these witch trials. And the thing is, the books they're canceling are mostly milquetoast, left-wing, normie tier crap anyway. It's not just the books that trigger these pussies, it's the behavior of the authors outside of the books, because these girls live on Twitter instead of meeting a man, having babies, and joining the tribe. And all these left-wing feminist publications that were subverted and corrupted a long time ago, who are telling you not to do that, to live the single life, they're evil people. They're lizard people who are lying to you. Social media is their babies. It's the substitute for a healthy family life. The other thing is, a lot of their woke cancellation efforts are because the writers are Jewish and support Israel. Because the latest 3-month-old war. And while I totally support crapping on anyone you wish, what exactly do you expect them to do? You can disagree with them all you want, but I won't be a hypocrite and get angry that they're supporting their home team just like we support our tribe. The left wing never used to be this openly 1984, where the woke Karens, and the thing is, a lot of their tweets that they say they support Israel, we're canceling them for. It's like they were taking a both sides approach. And they showed the tweets, and you look at it, it's like, yeah, they're talking about the kids who are being hurt on both sides of the equation. It's like, oh well, there's no both sides to the story. Well, there's always both sides to a story, and usually more than just two sides to a story. So left wing never used to be this openly 1984, where the woke Karens are gathering their cat lady PMS army to have a witch trial for writers who have the wrong opinion. And years ago, I said comedy was not going to survive Bolshevism, and it hasn't. The left can't comic, it can't meme, and now it can't allow stories. Then you look at these pussies and say, okay, well, where are the left-wing books, comics, memes? What meets with the puppet master's approval? And you realize the left can't tell a lot of stories. The reason the left can't meme, a meme is usually a short, graphical comic, not very wordy, and it allows the viewer to reach the conclusion suggested by the meme, and the left can't do this because the left are the bad guys who have bad ideas. So a short meme, the viewer will side with the antagonist, who is, at least to the soy boys' perspective, you're siding with the wrong person. That's why the left-wing memes or similar types of conveyance, dissemination of information are so overwritten, and they're nothing but these super specific straw man arguments because they're terrified that the viewer will reach their own conclusion that the soy boys and cat ladies are the bad guys, which they very much are. This archives in the fandom pulse thing. You can read through. She goes on for. I mean, it's like a lot of work that she did to put all this stuff together. Where most of her complaints are really mild. That they like most of the stuff is that the author was concerned about both sides of Israel and Palestine, or people are suffering, and it's like, oh no, you can only take one side. It's like, well, you can take one side, and I can take one side for sure, but it's like, why are you telling other people what opinions are allowable coming from, some 30-year-old cat lady? It's freaking bizarre that, like, I was going to say we started taking women seriously. I better dial that back for YouTube. That's what I want to say. How do I say that another way? Anyway, so I asked these Karens, what books meet with your approval? The thing is, openly crazy people, it wasn't that long ago where, people walk around in their bathrobes, tinfoil on their head. They were just avoided in whatever community you're in a city or suburbs. There was always people who were a little off. They had some issue. With people like that in my neighborhood who just, had issues. And they're walking around with the underwear outside of their clothing kind of stereotype. But you just avoid them. You never took them seriously. The problem with social media is now those same people have cell phones and they're online and they can get a following online because you don't know that these people are just bat-ass out of their minds crazy. But they have this life, this digital life online where most of the time they're using those pictures, those anime pictures or manga pictures, icons, and then someone will track them down and see who they are, and it's just someone you'd avoid in real life, someone who looks like they have a van with no windows. Though I do love those vans, like sweet for camping. Anyway, so I asked these Karens. I've always loved vans. I thought vans were just really cool. Those little bubble windows from the 70s, some like 70s paint jobs on them. It's like if you want to go camping or fishing, and it rains. It's really nothing better than having a van. Anyway, so I asked these Karens, what books meet with your approval? The thing is, woke is a bullshit tool. It's not an end stage. They'll keep moving the goalposts. The only way to win is to separate from them completely. Where you have different spaces for different groups, different identity groups. Just say, oh yeah, these books are not for you because you're a hungry emo girl on her period. Always belittle and humiliate them as much as possible. And the easiest way to do it is if you're politically incorrect from the start. And then they can't say, well, look, they're suddenly PC. It's like, no, they called you racial epithets to the extent the platform would allow right from the beginning. Oh, yeah, you have no reason. It's like, this stuff is not for you. It's the, the South Park method 25 years ago. So the thing is, you got to stop listening to the woke crowd. It's going to be better just to block them and let them write their own books from their own community, which is also why it's critical to start the parallel economy, which it is. Like Gab has got a parallel economy going on. Comicsgate in some small way, and the everything associated with Comicsgate is where you realize you can bypass gatekeepers if the demand is there. So the alternative publishing and distribution industry for people who believe in free speech, which is no longer a left wing value because free speech is a dangerous far right wing dog whistle. Because we believe the reader must be presented with all the information he wishes and to make up his own mind. We know we have better arguments. Read the Communist Manifesto and My Struggle by the Austrian corporal and make up your own mind. And you say that to them and they just lose their friggin' mind. No, we can't let people decide for themselves. And this is coming from like a 30-year-old soy boy cat lady, just people who have never been responsible for other people, and smoking like the Mags Versazios of the world, some 40-year-old Zur who's just smoking an ounce of weed a week, complaining about capitalism and thinking socialism's going to be the answer. It's like it's the same thing. It's the same masters at the end. It's like under that system you'd be working a farm or something. Like you wouldn't be allowed to buy estrogen because they need people running at 100% or like do any of this kind of. It's like they have the history of communism, but only the good parts, which is all only in theory, because in practice it just sucks a bag of dicks. To tell this to a leftist scares them. They're terrified that the reader will reach the wrong conclusion. Maybe the left wing just has bad ideas and people are tired of these mid-wit, woke, useful idiots. These single cat ladies living in their safe space. These 25-year-olds explaining how they'd run the world if they were in charge. These people taking drugs and who are open about this thing just goes on forever. They're open about their mental illness, how they're all, I don't know, whatever, victims and marginalized and oppressed, and they need to use some, made-up pronouns or whatnot. These people who never ran a large family or business, these soy people who write for these left-wing globalist publications, they know what's best for us. This is coming from their lily white, safe, gated community, telling us how the Martha's Vineyard community, where, hey, diversity is our strength for 24 hours. Sorry, Pedro, gotta ship you out to the middle-class suburbs. Oh, it's weird. You got all these empty mansions, Oh, we just don't have the resources. These homes are like $20 million homes. People are ultra wealthy. I think you have more resources than the folks in the suburbs. Yeah, sorry, Juan. Sorry. People really are demons, aren't you? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everyone over at Subscribestar and who've joined the Odyssey, and I'll see you guys all next episode.